Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about occipital bone. We will start our topic with introduction, and here you can see the diagram. The green color portion of the skull bone is called as occipital bone. Occipital bone is a crucial component of human skull, forming the posterior portion of cranium. It plays a vital role in protecting the brain, providing structural support to the skull, and facilitating movements through its articulation with the vertebral column. Occipital bone contains key anatomical landmarks that contribute to its function and connectivity with the surrounding structure. Now let's talk about the location of the occipital bone. Occipital bone is a singular bone situated at the back of skull. It forms the posterior and inferior part of the cranial wall and articulates with the several other bones including the parietal bone, temporal bone, and sphenoid bone. Additionally, it connects with the first cervical vertebra, that is atlas, and that allow for head movements. Now let's talk about the structure of the occipital bone. This bone can be divided into distinct regions. There are squamous part, that is the broad flat upper portion of occipital bone that forms the back of skull, and the basilar part, that is the lower central portion that extends forwards and connect to the sphenoid bone, and the lateral part that is located on either side of the foramen magnum. These sections play a role in articulation with the cervical vertebra. Now let's talk about the anatomical features of occipital bone. Occipital bone contains several notable landmarks that contribute to its function and integration within the skull. These include foramen magnum, that is the large opening in occipital bone through which the spinal cord connects to the brain stem. This structure is essential for neural communication between the brain and body, and it also includes occipital condyles, that are the two rounded bony projections on either side of the foramen magnum which articulates with the first cervical vertebra, that is the atlas, to facilitate head movements. The next anatomical feature of occipital bone is external occipital protuberance. That is a prominent bony ridge at the back of the occipital bone that serves as an attachment site for neck muscle. And the next anatomical feature is superior and inferior nuchal lines, that are basically the curved ridges that provide attachment point for muscles involved in head movements and stabilization. Next feature is hypoglossal canal, that are small opening near the occipital condyles that allow the passage of hypoglossal nerve which control tongue movements. Next feature, and these are the five main important features, and these features ensure the occipital bone role is providing structural stability, muscle attachment, and neurological pathways. Now let's talk about the functions of occipital bone. Occipital bone performs several essential functions within the human skull. These include protection of brain, as the occipital bone forms the posterior cranial wall, shielding the occipital lobes of the brain, which is responsible for visual processing. The second function of occipital bone is facilitation of head movements, as through its articulation within the atlas at the occipital condyle, this bone allows for nodding motion of the head. And the third function is structural support for muscles, as the occipital bone serves as an attachment site for muscles that control head posture and movements. And the fourth function is passage for neural structure, as the foramen magnum enables the connection between the brain stem and spinal cord, making it vital for neurological function. So these are the important functions of the occipital bone. Now let's talk about the clinical significance of occipital bones. The occipital bone is involved in several medical conditions and injuries that include occipital bone fractures. That is basically the trauma to the back of the head that can result in occipital bone fracture, which may lead to the complications such as damage to the brainstem or spinal cord. The second clinical significance is occipital neuralgia. That is a condition characterized by irritation or injury to the occipital nerve, causing intense headache and pain in the back of the head. And the third significance is congenital abnormalities, as they are the development conditions such as Chiari malformation involve structural defects in the occipital bone that can affect brain function. The next significance is surgical consideration or surgical significance, as neurosurgical procedures often require careful navigation around the occipital bone due to its proximity to vital neurological structures. Now let's talk about the conclusion of our lecture. Occipital bone is a key structural element of the skull, contributing to brain protection, head movements, and muscle attachment. Its anatomical landmark ensure functional connectivity with surrounding bones and neurological components. Understanding the occipital bone's significance is essential for studies in anatomy, physiology, and medical science. And this was all about the occipital bone. Hopefully, you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.